Okay, welcome. Listen, we are live and we are diving into this work today, but we're just going to get started and let some things work here. Let me see if I can figure this out. Definitely go to the store and check out some of these very cool glasses. And let's see if I can figure out how to be able to do this. Here we go. And let's understand that acting is doing, but acting is actually absolutely the being side of work and then doing. That is the whole entire reason for emotional preparation. So we're going to go through this whole thing and we're going to make sure that we've got success. In acting, we want to be sure that we've got our abilities to be able to be successful. So let's do this. Very quick commercials. Tell everybody what's going on. It's not a commercial so much as an invitation. Hi, I'm inviting you to actually join me live on the internet. And if you would, you can bring your own emotional preparation. We can work on emotional preparation together and we can really hone down and help build out that talent within inside of you. Now, even if all it is you want to just bring an emotional preparation, do a spoon river, I don't mind. Come, join us and absolutely practice the talent of your own acting. Okay, so I am absolutely thrilled and working hard and all that stuff. I got this nice little new poster. It's kind of cool. And you can definitely contact me if you need to. Now, I don't really like to waste time. Really, I like to very much just stay busy and keep working on stuff. But I understand that that is a very, sorry, hold on a minute. All right, so we are working hard to be able to find great acting ideas. Now, this is the reason why we want to be able to find ideas that are motivating. We've got to be able to have motivating ideas. And the motivation, if you ever watch any of those crime fictions, you can know that the motivation of the criminals is the biggest thing. And the thing is you've got to be able to find the motivation, right? And you've got to be able to find the motivation of your own acting. And you identify that and you tie that together with the emotions that you're able to spur up with your talent. So you've got the motivation, not to do anything harmful, but to be able to spur up that emotion in you. So that emotion is alive in you when you're doing the interaction. And having the emotion alive within you while doing the interaction is absolutely the absolute key to acting. See if we can find some of these really great slides that talk about some of these things. You are absolutely welcome to there's a few different things here. One, there is an acting activities list, which I'm actively doing updates on, of course. And if you've gotten one of the lists lately, you'll know that it's expanding great and it's good. And I'll tell you, you want to be able to identify activities that you want to be able to do. And this is absolutely key. This is the absolute key. It is the key to acting. It is the key to everything. And I am here and I am explaining all kinds of stuff. And I'm just working on things so that I can get very clear with you on actual descriptions on how to be able to achieve things. So it is incredibly important to be able to find motivational activities and be able to put those into action. So this is part 2 of the acting activities lists. Now, I have done other activities that have there's a list that's on the website. Let me just say that there's a list that is the acting activities list. There's a couple lists, and there's a master's list that's actually in the store. And then there is another whole thing that is an emotions list. Now, you put together that acting list with that emotions list. You put together that activities list with that emotions list. And it is great. It's golden. It's fantastic because now you've been able to identify things that motivate you. You're able to spur your emotion into action, not by forcing your will on other people and taking away the rights and freedoms of others, but instead, you are actually able to work hard to be able to work and get that whole thing working so that you've got yourself activated, emotionally activated, and then you're allowing the interaction with the other to actually reactivate your emotion. And that is the trick. That is the habit. That is the technique. That is you learning acting technique. So that's an important little spiel, because if you're just catching up now, listen, if you're listening to this again, listen, I'll tell you, a good lesson is one that is worth learning more than once and worth listening to more than once. I've seen well over 35 different teachers teaching acting, a lot of more than that. And the reality, it's well over 30,000 acting exercises. And people will look at me, they're like, we don't understand why you're so intense on this. And I'm like, well, don't worry about it. No, the reality is I'm looking at the differences of the actual understanding of one teacher versus another teacher. And then every single thing that I'm providing to you here, everything is only absolutely my unique opinion. So I'm differentiating myself from the crowd, and I'm saying, look, this is exactly what I think. I think acting is being and then doing. Acting is getting the emotion activated, and then having the interaction. The interaction is what I'm calling the doing side of the work, because that is exactly what interaction is. It's involvement. Doing is the involvement. It is the motivated involvement. And that is what is going to build up your acting. That is exactly how to be able to achieve being able to do the work of your own talent. And that is exactly the only thing that is so key. That is the exact only thing that's key. Now, there is very quickly a thing in the description box that has this incredible link in it, and you can check that out and you can learn how to be able to monetize yourself on YouTube and on the internet with this program. And this is a good program that is in the description box. So let's get into this. I found the thing. This is on a different video called How to Use the Emotions List. It's worth 10 minutes to watch. It is definitely important to be able to know how to be able to activate those emotions. And it's not activating somebody else's emotions. It's activating your own emotions. You get those emotions active and you work within it yourself. Now, activation is the key in acting. Acting is interaction. Interaction is the doing of acting. All of these things are quotes that I say because these are important fundamentals of acting. Now, the other thing here is activation of emotion is key. All right. Now, we ended off the part one of this section in the activity of number 60. Now, I said if you email me, I will send you a free 108 acting activities list, and they also have links directly in them, and they are fantastic to be able to utilize and work with to be able to find ingredients that work with your acting. Now, I'm going to dive into this list first and a little bit, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go over a little bit of the fundamentals of what you want to be able to put with these activities. Okay, we'll do it this way. We'll go a little bit in and out a little bit because we want to be sure. And by the way, in and out was what one of the it's in New York City. That's the original name for the work, acting work. And then later, those were named the doors and activities exercises when there was a whole bunch of other stuff that I have a lot of knowledge about and I don't say much about. So, all right, we're at this list here. We have balancing rock sculpture. Now there is in the link description, I have put as many of these as possible. And if you want to get a bigger list, then you can get a bigger list that you might email me and I'll send you the free shorter list, which is 108 acting activities. It's Simon Blake at emotionalpreparation.com. And I'll have to remember to check it a little bit more, but it's fine. I do sometimes still. So we have balancing rock sculpture. There is an 8-stone balancing kit. Now, if you're going to do this activity from scratch, you would literally have to chip out sections of rocks that you can put together that you know will bounce. which is its own activity, or you can do it as this activity, or you can get the actual kit where there's 8 balancing stones, and you can get those stones and then you can glue those together as your activity. And that's an excellent, excellent kit. Gluing the balancing rock sculpture together is similar, but it's a different function because you've got to find the right glue. You've got to do some work to be able to make that work out. So cleaning jewelry there's a kit, and it's fantastic to do that. You want to be very, very specific. Now, if you're going to be doing anything with jewelry, now don't be like these crazy series that go out and steal a whole bunch of crown jewels and then say that they own them. Go out and absolutely, and work with this so that you're cleansing your jewelry. You're looking to be able to put the emotions of yourself, of sentimental value, on those cleaning jewelry kits, right? You want to absolutely get this in a situation where you've got that jewelry clean, and it matters to you why that jewelry is clean. And then you probably want to be able to have a few pieces. Now, it says cleaning jewelry, but if maybe you don't have whatever type of jewelry you need, then maybe you want to be able to do something that's simple. And you can definitely work with different budgets with these things. This is the reason why I've got a list. I've got a list of things that you can do for free. I've got stuff that you can work with to be able to do not free. And that is, sometimes you can go and get all sorts of different materials, different places, and it's fantastic. And you're doing this to be able to work on your talent. Work on your talent, improve your talent. Don't just work with 5 emotions like a lot of people do, including people that walk down that red carpet. Believe me, I've seen a lot of these people in acting classes, and I'll tell you, they walk down the red carpet and they've only done 5 emotions. Well, get that emotions list of mine. It is 950 plus emotions. Work as a talent. Expand your talent and emotional range. Have some respect for yourself in acting and expand those emotions. Okay. Next activity is cleaning a silver spoon or cutlery. You can get some of these in all sorts of places, 50 cents or $1. You can get a couple of different pieces. Put sentimental value towards those items, absolutely. Maybe something sentimental. All right. Now, event decoration. Don't take event decoration lightly, because you want to be able to choose the events, and I need to make some notes here. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is key, because if you're going to go and do this now, there's a phenomenal thing on these sheets, and it might be in the description. You have to check the description box. That is an event planning toolkit. So you can go through as your activity, go through the checklist of all the event planning, and you can get that way. All right, now this is the first of 5 but we're starting at number 60 because this is part 2. All right, now this is not going to be in numbers are not going to be complete. I uploaded the numbers correctly, I thought, and then it changed. So origami animal is the next one in this broadcast. Now, origami animal, there is a instant download in the description box, or check for it. There is 30 simple origami projects, and origami is a good thing. It's a good thing to learn. Now, I'll tell you what, and I said this in the last video, and I'll say this again in this video, because this one thing is key for actors. You want to build up your absolute list of items that you're good at doing, okay? You want to be able to expand that acting resume with your acting skills. Now, acting activities are key, absolutely, absolutely key. And it is imperative that you want to be able to achieve this and be able to get very, very accurate. So work with this. It's a good one. Origami is not something to sneeze at. You never know when you need it. and it can be interesting. It can be interesting to do. So next one is acting activity is typing, dictation. Now there is a voice recorder in the description box. I highly suggest getting a voice recorder and watching and making sure people don't steal it. I had a voice recorder stolen with very important information on it, and everything that had everything to do. Well, I'll say maybe there's a backup somewhere. And let's see, right? And now the staining of the palm tree leaf. Now this is one that is, it could be personal. You could really do this as an epitaph to somebody, or some sort of sentimental value, where you're putting specific stain on a wood palm tree. You know, you have to probably sit it out, hang it upside down, dry it out a little bit, and you're putting a specific stain on that palm tree. And that could be a very, very good activity. Finding specific footage. Now, finding a specific footage would be something that would be difficult. If you had what you needed, it could be difficult. It could be difficult. It could be easy, but it could be difficult, especially if you've got a friend's video footage. So you know they've shot a project, and then you've got a list, and you've got your shot list. So you sit down, make it real for you, of course, and you sit down and you write down a shot list of shots that you know that the person has taken. That is your friend that's gone out and done some film project. And then you go and bring your computer in, bring the system and everything, and then get busy finding that specific shot list, or the item video list. If you did that as an activity, that's excellent activity. And you can do this. You know, activities can be used in acting for all kinds of ways. All kinds. When I say all kinds, you can use them in classrooms, use them in rehearsals, use them in particularizations. You can use acting activities towards scene work, specific scenes in films, in soap operas, whatever. You know, it doesn't make any difference. You want to be able to work with them accurately, and finding specific footage off of a shot list of a film footage list is something that's fantastic. That is absolutely good. But get your friends' footage. Ask them, listen, I want a list of 10 or 12 items that I know for a fact that you've actually shot, and then I will get that footage, and I'll categorize that into a folder within the program that you're using, and then that will be your activity. And you bring all your computers in and everything else, whatever, and then get to work, and that's your activity. And you crafted it yourself, with not exactly seeing the exact footage that you might have had on your own project, because you borrowed a friend's project just for your acting activity. Now, 3D printing objects, it could be work, but you've got to find the kind of work that it is that would be able to get you into activity mode, acting activity mode, into the involvement of doing. There is a lot to three-dimensional programming, three-dimensional Maya, and all kinds of diverse programming, sketching, model stuff. So you don't want to just sit there and watch the printer, although that might be a part of some of it, but you want to literally get to a spot where you're able to work, and you've got this ability to really get into this whole thing. You've got this ability to be able to really get involved with 3D printing. You can 3D print in, you might be able, well, I know you can definitely do this. You can 3D print marshmallow, okay? And you're designing a certain marshmallow sculpture of two groom and for your best made male or female, and you've got them to this wedding sculpture, and you're going to do this marshmallow sculpture in 3D printer. That's a creative idea. That's something where you've gone a little bit deeper into your own creativity and you've been able to do something with food, 3D printing, sculpturing. That's fantastic. You're involved in something that's intriguing to you. You want to do it. You want to get it done. Okay, next one. Let's see. Let's work on this hard. Working hard. Now listen, if you want to sit back and relax when you're watching this video, sit back and relax and absorb this stuff. You know, I go and watch classes. I've gone in and all this other stuff. And I'll tell you, I get into such relaxed states where all of a sudden I am completely relaxed watching the work and all this other stuff. It's incredible. And when you sit back and relax, and then you can just absorb everything. Sit back, relax. I've done a lot of the acting work for you by assembling this list. So, you know, let my YouTube or whatever this is, videography minutes roll up, sit back, relax, and just simply absorb it. And then you'll end up getting better and better and better and deeper and deeper and deeper into your creativity. Let me write that down so we got some comments working. I'll check the comments too. Let's see. Table. What does this mean? What does this mean? Oh, we'll just work with what we have. Okay, so let's take a very short commercial break. I'll try and figure this out and we'll come right back. Let me see where I'm at first. But this skipped just a little bit and then I'll be right back. Let's see. I work on all sorts of creative ideas, which is fantastic. And, you know, some of the ideas is great. Really good. Really good. They're too close to life sometimes. But that's a good thing overall. Okay, let's see. Hi, I'm inviting you to actually join me live on the internet. And if you would, you can bring your own emotional preparation. We can work on emotional preparation together and we can really hone down and help build out that talent within inside of you. Now, even if all it is you want to just bring an emotional preparation, do a spoon river, I don't mind. Come, join us and absolutely practice the talent of your own acting. Okay, so we are going to continue here. Hold on 1 minute. Hi, I have studied with well over 35 different Meisner teachers. And many of them I used to watch when they were just baby Meisner students in the classes. They didn't even do teaching yet. They were just students in the classroom. So you could join me at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays and ask me anything and about acting. And then you can also, we can work together to be able to help get your emotions. So if you want to help to be able to do emotional preparations, it's absolutely no problem. Listen, I have seen a lot of acting, and you could join me at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I will even help you do your emotional preparation. Just, I'll send you a link, you can come backstage, we can work face to face, and you can join the live stream. Hi, would you help me to be able to help you? Would you please, in the comment section, just place one question per comment that you have about acting? It's really important to me that you find your own acting technique. And if you ask some really good questions, you never know what I might be able to come up with answers. 1 second here. This industry is fantastic. It's very, very, very interesting. And what you are asked to do as an actor can initially feel like it's impossible. I mean, literally, the process of going into auditions, seeing somebody that you've never seen before in your life, and then being asked to instantly believe that they're involved in whatever is involved in the script. This is what we're asked to do in acting. Every single day that we get an audition, this is what we're asked to do. We're asked to be able to actually use our imaginations, to actively believe that a person's involved in something that they've never been part of, or that they may not have ever done. And we're asked to be able to have that be completely believable. So there's the elements that I teach very well. And please be very open with your opinions with me. I'm very open to exploring any opinions. But the reality of this, I teach very well how to do the emotion. Because the emotion is the being side of the work. So you got the being side of the work. But the topic of the day has to do with imagination. With imagination acting exercise. So, a lot of people have asked me over the years and still do. How do I rehearse alone, Simon? Simon, how does this work when you don't have a partner to work with? How can you exercise your imagination? Another question people have asked is, how do you rehearse a scene? How do you work in a way that's activating your imagination and acting? You're literally asked to completely believe that a stranger that may have nothing to do, with what the script is suggesting that they've had to do with their life, maybe the casting's bad. Or maybe it needs your creative energy to be able to make it actually work. So, it comes down to your imagination. The imagination acting exercise is the ability to stretch your imagination. Now I know. How do you do that? If you can sit down at a coffee shop and start to believe that people are maybe things that your script suggests, or that they have character traits that you have no idea if they have or not, but you're capable of working with your own imagination to believe that it's possible. Well, now you're working with your imagination. So what am I suggesting? Look, there's all types of ways to work with your imagination. And of course you have to be careful. And this is the real thing to be careful of, is that you're able to come out of it just like you're able to go into it. So you work within your imagination. You're literally asked to completely believe strangers are doing, like, I don't know, heinous things, or they're involved in high crimes, or they're part of like white collar networks, or whatever the script is. Well, then I would suggest that you go to coffee shops. Sit in the coffee shops and imagine that you're in a situation around the people. I'd like you to join me live on the internet. Absolutely. Okay, sorry for the technical difficulties, but that is okay, I think. It might be okay. Okay, so, all right, so basically, we are on a list here, and we are working hard to be able to do acting and to live our lives with complete freedom and not be in a situation where we're pushed and pulled and instructed on how to do things because we are around bullies that are in life or acting. We want to be absolutely clear that acting has to happen with freedom. It has to be with freedom. Otherwise, it's not life lived. And this is key. This is absolutely key. So we are working to be able to achieve this. And please let me know if this is working or not. And by sending in comments, if you would, if you can, or later after the broadcast. And we will continue to go down this list. Now, what I was saying was we want to be able to absolutely relax and absorb the list, absorb how to be able to access our creativity. This is incredibly important because there's always all kinds of stuff that's going on. And the thing is that we want to take the approach that we're in this relaxed state where we're able to work through whatever the problems are. Hopefully that is going to be the case, right? And then we can expand our talent because we're working with a wider range of emotions. Now, I said that we were going to take a break, and we did a bunch of stuff, and let's go through this very quickly. Now, there are ingredients to be able to work with your activities. I know I made a list of over, I mean, now the list is over 1,000, but I have to update some stuff. But the reality is that it's key that the absolute facts are that you need to be able to add ingredients to your acting work. Yes, this is the reason why I made 950 plus emotions lists. I'm still working on some stuff because the thing is we want to be able to expand our emotional range. So we're working to be able to expand who we actually are as people, as talent. So we're expanding our actual talent, our emotional range. This is what I've said for years. And you wouldn't believe some of the people I've told this to. And they looked at me, they're like, never heard that before. Well, that's what they told me. So, the thing is we have to expand our emotional range. We have to be able to get better and better talents within ourselves. And then we can expand who we actually are as people. And if we're working as parts of this where we're actually being human, right? Where we're actually working to be able to expand our humanity, that is absolutely the key. Absolutely the key. So we have the measurability, we have reason. So we're giving ourselves an activity, an acting activity that has measurability, right? Measurability. Then we're giving ourselves a reason. Now, a lot of people just give themselves a reason and then they get locked in their head with the logic. Okay, well, that's just it is. Well, it's logic, only logic. And the thing about it is if you're only logical, then you're gonna maybe be able to convince yourself off of logic, like a sociopath does, or like a narcissist will convince themselves that they're right off of the logic, but they're not actually interacting. They're not actually human. They've lost their humanity. This is the reason why they can only go so far, usually artistically, because they're not able to receive. And they're not able to receive without knowing what's going to happen. They always want to know what the other person's thinking. They always know we're not here to mind mess each other. We're here in acting to be able to do our craft and expand our humanity. So this is absolutely key. So you work with reason in acting, but you work with reasonably. You've got to have common sense. So you've got to be able to have logic in your acting without having the logic lock you up. So you have measurability, you have the ability to know if you're getting the task completed or not. Then you've got reason, and it's reasonable, it's common sense. Then you add meaning. Now, this is when things get a little weird for some actors, because meaning, all of a sudden, you have to enter a journey into yourself where you know that journey is this incredible meaning, right? You've got this incredible meaning. And this meaning is this thing that's like, sometimes if you go into a deep enough meaning, it can really affect you. And this is the reason why I have that video called Visceral Acting. I've got a video and material on the website that is actually talking about how to do visceral acting. Now, visceral acting is when those shoots of emotion come from you, because literally you're hit with so many impulse. There's so much that you're being receiving, or there's so much that's interactive with you. And all of a sudden you're working hard and you're able to look at this and say, well, look, you know, that was visceral. You felt a visceral response. There was this jolt of something here or there, which wasn't anything other than an emotion, right? And actors feel this on stage, and this is part of acting. So that is part of meaning. You want to be able to find a meaning, but again, with common sense. You don't want to find meaning that's too deep, because otherwise you'll be locked in your emotion without the ability to express yourself, right? So then the fourth ingredient is urgency. Now, urgency is typically only used that is actually in the actual doing of the acting activity. Now, look, it's important to always do urgency with some level of calmness, so it can be effective, so that you can get out of the situation that you're in, and you can work with this situation so that you're able to get out and work through it. Now, what is the situation you're trying to get out of when you're in acting? You're trying to get completed in your acting activity, right? So you've got your acting activity, and you're working to be able to get that activity done. And you're doing that by attaching the meaning. So you've got the meaning, you've attached the meaning, and your ability to try and get through it is you're wanting to get that completed, so then you can have that completion of the activity, of the actual acting activity. Whether it be perfecting a choreography, whether it be building a birdhouse, or looking at a mailbox that you haven't built yet for a free library that you're going to maybe have or not have. That is something that is all stuff that you have. See, you're going to get a result from getting the activity done, but you're going to give yourself the impetus and the urgency to get it done. But yet it's going to be calm enough that it's going to have to work for you to be able to get out of that circumstance. So instead of being in a situation that's locked in, where you're completely in a situation that's stuck, and you don't want to get stuck in acting. A lot of actors do this, and I've seen this for a lot of times. Over 30,000 acting exercises. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot. Now, the next thing is interesting, because so far we have measurability, we have reason, we have meaning, we have urgency, and now we're adding a fifth ingredient, which is depth. Now, depth is this incredible personalized thing that you can add to your work. But again, this is something, it's like when you're in a situation where you're working, you want to be able to work with this so that it's able to work and help you. You don't want to have depth that doesn't help you. You want depth that's able to get part of the interaction, or part of, this is absolutely key. This is an absolute key, which is the motivation. So you get the depth, and then you get into the motivation, right? And you get the depth, and you get into the motivation, and you let that depth drive your motivation. This is why I always say motivation is more important than any of the other ingredients, in my opinion, in acting. You want to be able to work with motivation. Motivation is the key that unlocks talent. Okay, now it is absolutely key. Motivation is the key. Now, motivation is the key that unlocks acting. Okay, I am writing that down and quoting it. Okay, it is absolutely essential. Essential. Now, the next one is adding emotional preparation. Now, adding emotional preparation means not adding some kind of conviction where you've got some sort of thought. So there's thoughts, there's ideas, then there's good ideas, great ideas. Then it goes further and further down where you've got feelings, and then you've got like deep feelings, and then the deep feelings go down on the actor's triangle, which I have somewhere, which is then you get into emotions. Okay, so you're working with emotions, right? So not only working with being able to identify your own emotions, now you're able to work to identify your own emotions and have your own talent to be able to activate those emotions. You are activating those emotions. Activating those emotions. When you have an activated emotion, you'll feel the emotion. alive in you. Something will be sparked. And that is what we're looking for. We're looking to spark ourselves to be able to, with motivation, to be able to complete those activities, those acting activities. And that is essential. It is incredibly important. Absolutely important. So, it's incredibly, I like acting so much. I absolutely think the expansion of humanity is one of the things that I'm incredibly interested in, because that is the way to be able to achieve talent, to be able to achieve the ability of real achievement. Now, when I say real achievement, this isn't a concurrence of anybody exteriorly. This is an achievement of self-value. You've increased your self-value by being able to expand your talent. Okay, this is essential. So let's go back to the list. This was a small commercial break to make up for all of everything else, but it's fine. This is going to work hopefully out. I'm trying to look forward and be able to continue to get things done so that there's this incredible amount of stuff that will just catapult your acting. It has to be able to catapult your acting. This is incredibly important to be able to. You want to work from yourself. Acting is not a competition. Acting is a self-discovery. Now, that is another key, absolutely key, it's very important. So let's get through this. So we are conditioning horse reins. There is leather honey conditioner in the description box, or at least look for it. I don't know if it's in there, but it might be. Now, there is, I believe, a link that is the next acting activity is playing a wood sword. That is an interesting one. You can use that to be able to develop your own set props or develop something that works so that you're able to. You need a prop for a play you're going to do, and King Lear play or whatever, Shakespeare, not Shakespeare, regardless of whatever it is that you need a prop for your play. Or your film. So you craft your own prop out of wood. So the next one is ceramic mug. You're molding ceramic mug. There is a ceramic paint set, which is in the description box, or should be. There is definitely one on these lists. And you want to confirming your architectural drawing. Now, confirming an architectural drawing. Now, let's, for instance, say, let's think for a minute. Let's think, okay, so you've got these stairs, right? And these stairs are like these descendant of stairs. And there is a specific height of each exact stair that you know that when you're, maybe able to work and you're able to step down those stairs, that it is the exact height of your walk, right? So it's a perfect walk for you because those stairs are your exact height. Now, that might be exercise that you can use or get. Maybe you want to weave a basket that would be able to go on 2 stairs, right? And those 2 stairs would have that exact down to the millimeter, a meter, and do exactly those heights of stairs, exactly where that basket can hold all those magazines or whatever they are, and they can go on 2 steps and they can go off to the side. So when you're working with these 2 steps that you've got these, or many steps, right? Maybe 13 or 14 or 15 steps. But the reality is you've got this basket on the side. Now, this is an architectural detail. Now, there are definitely, let me tell you, there are definitely architectural confirmations of drawings which have this kind of specific architecture. Okay, so what's important about this is that each step is exactly to your walk, right? And so if you're designing a house and maybe you're saying that the house is new or you're remodeling and or however, right? And that's a real thing. A lot of times people will re-age the houses and back records and all this other nonsense, which is a great movie script. Of course, that's an imaginary circumstance. But the reality is that those steps are the actual architectural steps. So if you have a diagram and you can come up with some creative idea that works with you like that, and you can work and be able to confirm an architectural drawing, then you can be able to work and be able to confirm it. And that's your activity. Your activity is you want to make sure every single angle is correct. You might just want to make sure everything's perpendicular. You might want to look at the architectural drawing and make sure that all the floors match so that there's three stories, and you want to be able to make sure that works, including the attic, right? And so you're working in this area where you're able to do this. And this is absolutely important. It might interest you. And if it does, you bring that interest into your acting. So hopefully that's helpful to someone out there. Now, let's see. We are matting a picture frame. That is another one that goes down to the millimeter, or I believe Italians say millimetre. It's an 11 by 14 picture frame matting that is in the description box, or at least on this list. Let's keep working here. 66. Okay, I'm going to go a little quicker, although there's absolutely no rush. Design, well, if there's a rush, I don't think there's a rush. I think everything's working right. Buy those colored tints in the store if you would. They're very, very exciting. You can read longer using colored lenses. It is an effect of color therapy that is actually science, which is interesting. So, all right, now you might want to design a tube sculpture. So sculpting, you want to do, maybe you want to get a bunch of bicycle tubes and you want to fill them up and make some kind of bizarre tube sculpture. Whatever is artistic and you're able to get going and work. Now, decaling on leather, European leather works is in the description box. Tuning a bicycle, you bring your bicycle in, you would bring the tune in, and you would work. Changing a spoke on a bicycle is another good activity. Bedazzling onto the bicycle spokes the little bright colored lights. That is one thing you can do. You can also do a basket on your bicycle, and that takes some time to do as an acting activity. Cement bust sculpture. Now, those are pretty difficult. Now, there is a link that if you need to email me for the list, but the reality is that there is a 10-pound block of cement clay, and you can literally then carve out a bust. Now, a bust is usually from the shoulders up or the neckline up, or sometimes even a little bit lower, and that would be developing the sculpture. Sometimes plastic surgeons will use that to be able to do accurate descriptions of how someone would look like with an extra nose or a different style of feature on their face. Now, rewiring electric cabling, there is a cable crimp set in the list. Paper mache is a fantastic activity, but bring whatever you need, everything. If you need to bring a blanket, lay a red blanket down, make sure that it doesn't have anything spilled, whatever it is, make sure that you're absolutely okay. Now, a cloth mache is another thing that you can use other than paper mache. You can make your own if you find the material. Now, drawing papier kit, there's a kit that is in the list. Hand clothes wringer. There is a hand wringing clothes machine that is on the list. Email me for that. That is exciting. Okay, now hand sewn sleeve badge. Now I'll tell you, putting badges on are tough. They can take quite a lot of uh, abilities to be able to do. Chiseling a wood shape, you might want to chisel a wood shape. There is a Lulu chisel set. Lulu is a, now I'm not saying that word in any kind of derogatory way. I know some of the history of it. I am saying that that is the brand Lulu. Okay, sketching image, backlight drawing board. There is an incredible tool. Now, I have this in the emotional preparation store. It is incredible. It's incredible. It is a light board. It backlights the actual everything. The drawings. You can do architecture drawings. You can backlight it for radiography, for X-rays, all types of things, and it comes in different sizes. Really big size. A2 is the art size. So there's A2, A3, A4, A5. Art size, which is the actual size of the material. And the material of the actual light board is put into those art sizes in the store. Now, there's sketching images in reverse, phone projector, or drawing. There is all sorts of stuff that's very interesting. Assembling jewelry, JWRLERY. There's a 10,046 pieces jewelry kit. Sculpture letter holder. There is clay in the description box. Engraving initials, design now. Sometimes you can do a few different things. You can design a logo to be able to do the engravement. You can do the actual engravement. You can do all sorts of, there's incredible creative ideas for acting activities. Now, repairing lampshade, making beautiful lampshades book, carving statue, bird carving. Oh, there's a great bird carving kit in the description box. Hey, it's great. You can whittle away, do a carving, and do a bird, do a dove, whatever you need. It's great. And you can actually design your bird. So you can design your bird, and then you can carve it out. And it's great. Shredding documents. Now, there is a Bunsen paper shredder. Get a good paper shredder. If you're going to use, don't try and get something that's actually going to do the shredding. And if you're going to paper shred, you want to cross shred because otherwise it will be very easy to be able to, as an activity, which I don't even think I have in the list, add pasting together. Now, you could paste together a ripped up dollar bill, right? That would be another activity. Okay, and the other thing you can do is you can paste together those shreddings, those the paper shreddings. So there is an actual thing that is that's reasonable. It might be an important enough reason to use that. Like, let's say you have a tax documentation that somebody, for spite, before they went into a foreign country and took out a foreign leader, maybe they went in an imaginary circumstance because that stuff never happens. Basically, you might want to say you're finding your ITIN number and you find your ITIN number shredded, or you don't have your ITIN number because that was part of some sort of negotiation to get into, whatever, who knows, whatever you're going to create for yourself. Now, when I say create for yourself, you're going to create an imaginary condition that's believable under those imaginary conditions. Now, action films are going to be a little bit more extreme in terms of believability, right? And, other things might be a little less, but you want to find something that you're capable of believing. Now, listen, I can believe a lot of things, and I've been through a lot of things. So it is absolutely interesting, very interesting and solid. I'm telling you, I've got very solid confirmed. My first drafts are terrible, but there's a lot of ideas that sometimes I'll have. And then when I get those into the later drafts, brilliant. There's some good stuff in it. When I say brilliant, I'm not saying I'm brilliant. I'm saying that the work is good. It's good, because there's a lot of ideas. It merges. But my first drafts are messy as heck. There could be, information about my neighbor and something else and some random thought about this and that because it's trying to connect different things. And then all of a sudden, in my later drafts of everything, all of a sudden it comes in. I'm like, that's solid. There's an artificial insemination program script, and then there's a why that would be connected to some of the skull and bones connections, and then that's another situation, and that's a situation that's an imaginary circumstance. None of this is real, of course, because it's in a script. So the reality of all of it has to be the fact that it's only under imagination, and the reality is the first drafts are messy. And then it gets into tighter and tighter, and the storylines get tighter, and then it starts to flow, and then it's great. So, tell you, I could give Stephen King a run for his money, or maybe I have. I'm joking. All right. So, but I'm saying that there are some good things. There are some very, very creative ideas, and you want to include acting activities in your storylines. You want to absolutely get going with this stuff and work hard. And when I say work hard, take in what I say and teach, because it's going to work to be able to expand you. I'm not doing any of this stuff. Of course I learn by doing it, but the reality is I'm putting it out there so that people can grow with their humanity. That's the point. So we got carving a bird statue, shredding documents. That's where we got all that information from, was shredding documents. That is also a thing called freeform writing. There is a absolutely important thing. Freeform writing is actually a therapeutic exercise. And when I say therapeutic, sometimes it can be for the ability of debriefing from a heightened emotional state. So let's say if you go in and you do a deep emotional preparation, and then you're able to believe your preparation, and you're able to believe the storyline, and all of a sudden you go then somewhere else, and then you start writing out freeform writing. And that will actually gain your ability to be able to connect other cases, other things, or pieces of information, whatever it is. Okay, so then we have bottle sand art. So there is, now everyone will look at this a little bit like, what are we talking about? I don't want to sit around and play with sand. But the reality is that sand is it's a thing. It is actually a thing. It's a real thing. I'm not joking. Sand is a real thing. And mandala sand art is another real thing. The mandalas kit is the ability to be able to work to be able to achieve bottle art. I mean, there's bottle art sand. That's another unique thing. And then there's sand art, which is basically you make geometric. A lot of times it's geometric. It doesn't have to be. See, listen, what I'm saying is that you could take the sand art mandalas concept and you could make it the sand art, and then you could like make yourself, right? That would be an excellent kit. I don't know if I could figure out how to do that, or anybody wants to contact me. We can make a sand art kit that is for specific people. So you could just like you can draw your own sand, right? You can do your own paintings of like paint yourself. This would be like sand yourself, right? And then you're doing yourself in your kit. And then that's part A. And then part B is you would actually take your sand art and either very carefully put a thin, light layer of glass or plastic over top of it to preserve it. Or you could put borders around it, and you could put resin in that resin would be something that would then be something that would actually a clear resin or a tinted resin. Um, uh, uh, that would literally then encompass you, right? A picture of you in your sand art. And you'd send out the outline um, in that kit of that specific person. And that would be something I'd be more than happy to help to be able to do. If you want to contact me, there is information in the how to be able to do that. So bottle art sand is very interesting. Now look, this is great. So you could, this is really good. So getting your own body measurements is something that is definitely something that you could do as an acting activity. That is, it's perfect acting activity. Now, writing a eulogy, I don't know if it's in another list. I think it is. It is a funeral planning manual that is in the description box, and you can actually learn how to be able to plan for the funeral and or the funerals, whatever you're doing in your acting exercises. So you might try to, you have to practice the reality of accepting that somebody's passed away. That's now that there's a contrary situation of that. You could have been in some sort of Damascus or something else gets my memory is in my brain for some reason where you have there's a orange flag. They didn't know if they were pirates or not, and the story goes that they became drakes, and then they ended up going and detaining a whole bunch of politicians, and that was actually part of the history. I don't know if if it's there or not. I think it is still there, so it should be good to talk about. And it's definitely expired information off of any classified records. So the reality is that Drake is the reason of the Drake. And then later on, after the JFK happenings, there was more than one death that day. And the reality is that what happened was that was part of later on that became part of the it connects actually to a lot of things, including I don't know. I'll just say that much. It does connect stuff. So why would that matter to eulogies? It really does connect a eulogy situations. And then that's interesting because here's the thing. Because writing eulogies is something that you want to master as an actor. There is going to be a lot of times where you're going to have to be able to pull upon those things and those kinds of topics, and know some of those histories, like the histories of the Drakes and the reality of the martial arrests that happened in the 1960s to suppress the information that is completely public information now because it happened in the 60s. So, that is another connection to a lot of different situations that is involving with the eulogies. And if that's something that you want to study to be able to get yourself into the mode and the practice of doing acting eulogies, then that's fantastic. That is actually a positive thing because it gets you in the mood. Just like reading a scary fiction novel might help get you in the mood for your emotional preparation. Now, the next one is fur tanning activity. That is another thing you can actually get. There is a fur tanning kit, which is actually fairly difficult to do it well. You have to learn how to do that well. There's also a leather kit that's in the description box. Now, there is activity of balancing. There is a wobble balance board. There is a small spot engraving kit. 108 piece engraving set it's decent. When I say decent, I'm used to looking at a lot of really good work, honestly, and I'm very highly critical of it because I'm seeing the people in their practice, right? I mean, they go off and win whatever it is. I don't care. I don't follow these people. I'd like to study the training. People tell me stuff. That's one thing, but the reality is that all of it's just very interesting in terms of the process. So you work with the ability to do the artistic process, and that is key. Now, patch a down kit. Um, uh, Patching a down kit. Now, look, there could be some sentimental value. Um, you know, I would be very, just add some sentimental value if you have actual spark of that you can do. Now, pop out card, handmade. There is a handmade card, step by step description in the description box, which is fantastic. Now, layered paper cutting sculpture. Yeah, there is in the emotional preparation store. There is a actual layered cut sculpture. I think it's like 120 layers or something deep, and you literally layer and then solidify all those layers of paper, and you got your sculpture. And there is also in the description or on the acting sheets a layered flowers form. Overhaul. Now, there is an acting activity that you can do that is an overhaul of an acoustic guitar. You want to build your own guitar kit. Tango step rehearsal. Oh yeah, that's great. You can make your own footprints. I mean, you literally could like learn tango. There's a book, instruction dance book in the description box or on the sheets here. You can just email me. And the reality is, or you can go to the website and get a big list with links in it. And the reality is, you want to be able to do that. You can also get these cool glasses in the store. And let's see if I can find the right page. Okay, we have. Okay, let's go from here. This is the next one. We got. We'll just go through here. Sculpture. Doing. There's clay. We got engraving toolkit. We have repairing lampshade as an acting activity. We have carving a statue. We got those already. Writing a eulogy. Here we are. Fur tanning. Pop out cards. Now this is the next one. Layered paper sculpture. We just talked about. Acoustic guitar. You can build your own. Tango steps. You can build your own. You can cut out your own steps to be able to do paste them to the or tape them to the floor to be able to practice your tango. You can get fabric painting rug, fabric painting set, origami, plain models. Yeah, there is a really cool thing. It's a record-breaking paper airplane kit, and it's an instant download. Fantastic, really cool. Let's see. The entire list, again, is 930 acting activities. We are wrapping this up. We are going through this in lightning speed. Thank you for spending time with me, and absolutely appreciate it. And hopefully this will help you explore who you are as a person, as well as getting me forward in life, because I'm getting more and more organized, and that is a good thing. Definitely helpful. I look forward to a very, very, very lot of good things in life. Let's see if I can find the last two slides. There is removing a stain from the carpet. Now, there is Dr. Beckman carpet stain remover on the sheet and link, and stripping the paint from the wood or the metal. There's a Dumont paint remover. There's resurfacing sink. There's a bathtub refinishing kit. There is a repairing leather. Now there's a bunch of leather activities. That is important note for later that will later help you out. So, resurfacing sink is an interesting one. You could take a steel sink and you could see if you could resurface it with enamel. That's an option. And that's an activity. Now, again, you want to bring something, cover the floor, make sure that you're set up. Don't do a Dr. Blake series covering the floor. I'm saying just cover the floor to be able to do the actual. That was a joke, by the way. To be able to make sure you don't mess up the stage floors in the theaters. Okay, repair leather. We've got this one. And last slide, or almost last, will be overhauling the computer upgrade. Now, there is a lot of options on that. You could do a meaning-based translations. You could translate computer languages. You could, there's a lot of activities there. So there's pickling your own vegetables. There is a book on home preserving book, which is a good book, thorough. Let me say not good, but thorough book on the topic. Picture painting restoration. There is something called cotton cleanser and a fabric painting design on your yoga mat. That is an activity I could definitely see people doing, and I have not seen it done actually even in 30,000 plus activities. But a lot of these are completely original. I mean, all of them are my work 100%, but the reality is that some of them are just completely original ideas I have on acting and Foley. I haven't even seen them done in classes at all, but I know that they're fantastic acting activities. The next one is speedball ink. Screen printing wood. You could definitely do that, and you could do design. Now, look, if you're going to do a speedball ink screen printing on wood, right? Then you bring a stack of wood. Like I said, you go out and do emotional preparation, collect the wood materials, add that as part of your rehearsal processes for your acting. You would basically go out and collect wood in the forest, and you could go and do an emotional preparation before you go out and collect the wood. And then you build up your emotional life a little bit that way. And you do that as an acting exercise. So then you go ahead and you do the speedball ink, and you can do that on some logs or some foliage that you got that you're being able to do and you're able to work with. And that's an idea, right? And then you can add, the fact that you've, written a eulogy, or you're going to have to write a eulogy, or you're trying to celebrate someone's life, even though they didn't have a funeral, or they couldn't have a proper funeral, or whatever the case is. So now look, you of course add your own reason, your measurability, tangibility, urgency, depth, emotional preparation, and the most important is motivation. You want to absolutely be able to do motivation. Now, it is absolutely, thank you very, very, very much for subscribing and liking, booping the like button. There are some very, 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 very cool tinted glasses in the store. Feel free to go ahead and work with those and get some of those glasses, and they will get processed and worked through and sent out and got everything working. And basically do well with yourself. Check out that description box, check out that link. Be very clear about what it is that you want to be able to achieve in your acting by finding stuff that you're actually interested in. You want to be able to find activities that you are absolutely interested in. And that is the reason why it would be worth an hour of time to be able to sit and listen to me talk about this stuff. Hopefully, I'm doing this in a relaxed enough way. I'm getting better. I'm working out this. It's going to work through. Hopefully, things are going to work out in terms of just continuing to get things good. When I say good, I want to be able to be clearer and clearer and clearer and be very, very, very specific. It is incredibly encouraging to be able to work with acting and be able to do work to be able to help people. And that is key. And it is important. So I will now take a do and bid adieu to you and be very clear to check out my website and emotionalpreparation.com and do absolutely work with that so that you've got the ability to be able to be cool. All right. So let's just wrap this up and then we will wrap out. Hi, I'm inviting you to actually join me live on the internet. And if you would, you can bring your own emotional preparation. We can work on emotional preparation together and we can really hone down and help build out that talent within inside of you. Now, even if all it is you want to just bring an emotional preparation, do a spoon river, I don't mind. Come, join us and absolutely practice the talent of your own acting. Okay, what's the next thing here? Oh yeah, here's one thing here. Robin Williams, very interesting situation, and he's got dyslexia. So it's encouraging quote here from him to be able to consider, and let's go from there. Okay, so thanks very much, and we are absolutely good to go. And thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, thank you.